Join me for day 20 of learning how to throw ceramic shapes. This week in my pottery studio I've been learning how to make little ceramic vases like this. I really like it because it's really cute and stumpy and it's got like a nice open flared opening here, and it'll be perfect to add little flowers or an urn or something like that. So I hope you enjoy the video and let me know in the comments what you think below. I start off by weighing out my clay. These vases are around 1 kilogram of stoneware clay. I'll then begin to slap it into a ball like so before throwing it onto the potter's bat. I'll wet my hand slightly and just let it run over the ball so that it pulls it into a nice round shape before then using my palm of my hand like so just to try and get it as flat and even as possible. With my index finger, I'll seal it onto the wheel and then I'll begin coning and centering the clay. So really slowly, I'll use both hands to grasp the clay and pull it up into this long form shape here. I'll continue to do this to get it to a right height before leaning the clay forwards and pushing it down. I'll repeat this until all the clay particles are facing in the same direction. Once the ball's spinning pretty centrally, I'll then use my thumb to open up the clay before compressing down the base to ensure that it's nice and firm at the bottom. Locking my hands together, I'll begin pinching the walls of the clay, pulling it up into a nice high shape. Once I've got the desired height, I'll then start focusing on opening up the bowl, following the same format as creating a bowl where you begin pinching it and pushing the walls outwards before then raising it up. So you can see here it's starting to form the early shapes of any kind of bowl shape, and then at this stage what I want to do is collar it in slightly to create the neck of the vessel. If the bowl wasn't as stumpy as the one I showed at the start of the video, I probably wouldn't create such a bowl shape first and probably just pinch it up and out. So I'll continue to do this until I've got the desired height. Now you can see I'm beginning to start on the rim or the lip of the bowl, so I'll continue to pinch it up, but then kind of flaring it in ever so slightly and then flaring it back out when we get to the neck. You can see here now I'm really starting to pinch it in to create that dumpy shape, and then you can see it starting to form that lip or opening. Once I'm happy with that stumpy shape, I'll then use a wooden kidney and just remove all the excess slip from the edge of the bowl, and using a fettle like so, I'll just remove the inside slip too, and this will help it dry out nice and evenly. With a wire, I'll remove it from the wooden bat and then set it aside for a day or so that it dries out nice and leather hard. A couple of days later and the bowl is nice and leather hard, so I'll lay down some slip and just start tap centering it. You can see I'm using my left hand to brace the wall of the bowl and then my right hand just to tap it ever so slightly until it gets nice and central like so. Using a little wooden metal tool, I'll then begin removing the excess slip from the edge of the bowl, and this will help create a nice smooth finished burnish surface. I found the inner lip of the vase really tricky to trim, so I tried a combination of using the metal tool like so, but then also introducing some wooden tools to help fettle it away. So I'm now just trimming the inside of the bowl to make sure it's nice and smooth, and here's the wooden tool I mentioned earlier. So what I'm really doing is just burnishing it here and then using my index finger whilst it's still leather hard to help create that nice smooth opening shape. So I'll continue to do this, just burnishing the sides with a wooden kidney and also my index finger so that I get a nice smooth vessel and you won't be able to see any of the potter's tools or marks. All I'm doing is pressing down ever so lightly, and the friction from my finger is smoothing out the bowl and removing all of those grooves and lines, as you can see here. Again, just removing it from the wheel with a wire, and now I'll start working on the base. The problem with these vases is that you can't place them directly on the wheel, so a day earlier I made this chuck, and a chuck is basically just a vessel like so that you can place the ceramic into, and it will allow you to trim on top of it. So I'm just tap centering the chuck here, and then I'll place the vessel upside down into the opening like so. It was quite a tight fit after it dried out, but as you can see, it's worked perfectly. I'll just make sure that the vessel is spinning nice and centrally, and then just lightly tapping the top, and that will seal it. I bought these little spinners off Amazon to help provide a bit of downward pressure when I'm trimming. They came through slightly smaller than they looked on the advert, so I'll probably be looking for some larger spinners. So if anyone knows of any good places to get spinners like this, please let me know in the comments below. I'm looking for a slightly bigger one than this. So I'll trim the bottom and also carve in some of the feet, and basically repeat the same process of burnishing and smoothing off. Finally, just writing down my name onto the bottom of the pot. I don't have a potter's stamp yet. It's something I want to get into. I want to make my own maker's mark, but maybe in a future video. Carefully lifting off the ceramic vessel, I'll then just tidy up the lip with a wet sponge like so, and this will just make it nice and smooth out all those rough edges, but make it also nice and clean. So here's the final piece. What do you guys think? It's the first time I've really made a proper vase like this. Let me know in the comments below if you've got any tips or tricks on how to make something a little bit more streamlined. Don't forget to like and subscribe.